let me say this, because we on social media and everybody act like the moment that a relationship is over with, you supposed to just not care, not look back. If you were in a relationship with a man, or vice versa, fellas, but with somebody who made you question your thoughts, your reality, et cetera, it is normal to end that relationship and still have questions about whether or not you were the problem, whether or not they were right. But let me say this. If you see your ex move on into a whole new relationship with somebody and they just look like a knight in white shining armor, but in the relationship with you, they made you question your worth, ignore everything you're seeing them display about that new relationship, because narcissists do not truly heal. They don't get better. They don't evolve. They rebrand, and then they find a new target. They find a new target. The whole purpose of what they're putting on is to continue playing on your subliminal, continue playing on your subconscious, while sending a message to everybody else that you were the problem. And the whole time you're trying to get answers. Again, if you were in a relationship with somebody who had you question yourself, you don't have the same amount of self-assurance and amount of confidence in what you're thinking and perceiving and what you're feeling and what you went through. So it is normal to look at any kind of evidence to try to get closure, answers, to try to get certainty about how you should feel at this chapter. Should you feel like, you know what, maybe I should go back? Should you feel like maybe I should step my own game up and change this, that, and the other that my ex said was wrong with me because it really was wrong with me? That doesn't make you weak. That makes you impacted. People like the victim blame, like, oh, you shouldn't even care. You don't know what that person been through. You don't know what that person been through as they tried to love somebody who didn't love themselves and at the expense of everybody else just wanted to feel more powerful. You don't know what that person went through. So if you were in a relationship with a narcissist, it is normal for after the relationship ends for you to not have as much strength and certainty and closure and just move on and not care about what's going on. So if you happen to look at evidence and you're looking at things and you're looking for some type of answers about what the real truth was with everything that you went through, I'm telling you, ignore what you're seeing in that new relationship that they just jumped in. Ain't none of that rooted in reality. That is all branding. Ain't nothing about that authentic. It's all aesthetic. I don't care how good it looked. I know he taking her on trips he never took you on. I know he talking like he ain't never talked before. I know. It ain't none of it real. Now, I want to be very clear and discerning with what I'm going to say, because anytime we talk about, let's say, the other side of this, an alpha male, a man who truly did go through the fire, he made his mistakes, he faced his consequences, et cetera, and then in the next relationship, although it's without you, he actually is showing up better. That does exist. I like to be very balanced. But the difference between the alpha male and the narcissist, even though they both may have made horrible mistakes in their past, et cetera, with the alpha male, that work was private long before it became public. It never was about putting on the show. He didn't jump straight into something else. He went and took measures. He went and changed his behavior patterns. He had a sense of accountability. Even without trying to get back with you, he probably apologized to you and accounted for it and said, you know what? You were not the problem. In many ways, I was the problem, and I made you the problem, and I projected onto you. And I realize that now because I'm truly doing the work, and I understand that bridge is burned. But as a man, as an alpha male, he ain't got to say those words, but as a man, I need to make it clear to you that you were not the problem. He'll vindicate you even without a chance to still be with you. So that's an alpha male. And then in that situation, that man may go on to a whole new situation and be stellar. That does happen. And that is a good thing. All right. You may not like it, but that's just the truth of it. A narcissist, on the other hand, or let's say we're not diagnosing folks, because I know people like to do that, but a narcissist or a person with narcissistic tendencies, they will blame you to the very end of that relationship. And when they stop getting what they want out of you, or maybe there's just somebody else they just find more interesting, they discard you, change nothing about themselves, account for nothing, and immediately follow up whatever they do in that new relationship to just confirm everything that they were saying about you to begin with. If it wasn't for you being this weight, if it wasn't for you being this impacted by what they did and now you're negative, then they would X, Y, and Z. And it would look like flowers. It would look like all the public displays of affection. That's a narcissistic way of dealing with things. So I hope you guys understand this. And again, I'm talking to the one, because on social media, everybody just so doggone confident. Let me bring you back in. Everybody just so doggone at peace with the relationship, and they never have those thoughts circulating in their head about what they could have done better. about if that man is truly the one that got away, he was no good, but they just leave him scot-free and don't think nothing else about it. Okay, cool. I want to talk to the real people. I want to talk to the people that ever had a question, even though you know that you really shouldn't have, but you still did. And yes, those are asking about the alpha male. Alpha males do exist. Those men who have bumped their head, made their mistakes, or made their intentional choices, but from a very hurt place, those men who took that and let it be the catalyst to their growth truly do exist. I'm one of them. I don't claim to have always had everything figured out. Actually, at this point, I think y'all pretty much clear on that. I ain't always had things figured out. But with the alpha male, again, there's a level of accountability. There's not just a level of accountability. It's rooted in accountability, because even if his actions don't align with his intentions at any point in his life, his trajectory, his track record shows a decrease in that gap between what he says and what you see him do. Not somebody who says, you know what, I'm about to go out here and I'm just going to make the exact same nonsense look better. I'm going to make you look bad for not putting up with the nonsense by getting somebody else who don't know how I be lying long enough to enable this branding that I'm doing. So now you feel even more like you were the problem and everybody else believe it too. Let me say this. That man, that toxic ex of yours, he didn't evolve. He updated his presentation for a new market. He didn't evolve. He did not become an alpha male version of himself. He did not truly grow. He did not truly address his lesser self. He did not do any shadow work. He didn't go to any therapy. He did not humble himself. He didn't find mentors. He didn't admit his faults. He didn't take the blame off of you or take back those things that he did or words that he said that put the blame on you. He didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. He truly did the work. And now I'm always, hey, look, this is where I'm at with it. I'm always of the belief that as a woman, especially if you're grown, you're not in your 20s, and you can be in your 20s and grown, but you get what I'm saying. You grown. You ain't got time to even be a part of that learning curve for a man to become an alpha male if he's going to be. Any woman right now listening to this and your man is not yet evolved, if you over the age of 35, 40, especially, you ain't got time to be waiting for somebody to still become a real man. That's an alpha male, not a broken little boy. You need to get the man who's already grown. You need to position yourself for the man who's already done the work. If you've already done the work and gone through your trial and error and your tribulations, you need to position yourself for a man who has also done that exact same work so y'all can be equally yoked. Or else it's going to feel like you're constantly trying to pull him up into manhood. And so don't take what I'm saying and say, let me go and teach and tell and inspire this man. No, your days of raising, fixing, building, anything like that of a man are over. Or at least they should be. And if you agree with that, comment the word secrets, and I'm going to send you the secrets to get out of that pattern and position yourself for a true alpha male who has done the work. Y'all be thinking that alpha males don't exist. Y'all just don't know how to position yourself for them. Unfortunately, even alpha males don't have intuition like women. So y'all can be the most amazing woman in the world, but even alpha males need you to position yourself properly to find you. He can't come up under your bed. He ain't gonna come find you while you at work. He ain't gonna find you while you still healing from a bad relationship. He's not in certain places. He's not gonna be able to see you, sis, even if you're amazing. But if you position yourself using the strategies that I taught in my free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only, you don't have to do a whole lot of looking, and you're going to attract so many. You could choose the one that's right for you and the one that you actually want. They do exist, and they're looking for a woman like you who's growth oriented, but you got to know how to position yourself. Comment the word secrets. Again, I will send you the free masterclass. I'll give you the step-by-step guide to positioning yourself. But back to what I was saying. For those of y'all, you got out of a toxic relationship. That man did a number on you. He did a number on your mental health. He did a number on your confidence. And then he just jumps right into a new relationship. I get it. It's not that you always want vengeance and you want everything to go back, but it hurts if you see it looked like he was right about everything he accused you of and said that he was so great and you were so bad. And that's the only reason why he treated you a certain way. I know it hurts. The same man who gaslighted you for years, just becoming Dr. Phil on social media and his insights and all that kind of stuff that he can share. They're just so on point. And then he got a new woman and it looked like he applying everything. And with you couldn't get that same energy. You couldn't get the same thoughtfulness and romantic gestures. And you think to yourself like, okay, well, what's so bad about me and so special about her? Why didn't I Why didn't I deserve this effort? I never got this energy from him, this enthusiasm to treat a woman well. And look, she's not even getting the evolved version of him. She's getting the same man with a fresh coat of paint. She's getting the same man with a fresh coat of paint. Different target, identical tactics. Now he just got a bit different purpose behind his love bombing because, again, he's still trying to put an exclamation mark on all the lies and misleading and deceptive narratives he implemented in your life. He's trying to use her as a way to underscore all of those things he misled you to believe about you and others to believe about you. So all this excessive attention and gestures and promises and all that kind of stuff, it really does, unfortunately, have her thinking that she's special the same way he had you thinking, at least special to him, because you were always special, but you weren't that special to him, unfortunately. But that overwhelming intensity that she's mistaken for passion, you know deep down it's just a setup. It's just a setup for the eventual devaluation. She's not experiencing his growth. She's not. She's experiencing his opening move in the game. She doesn't know he's playing. And the whole point of me telling you this is not for you to be salty and feel like, you know what? Yeah, she's going to get hurt. I know that's not what you after anyway. But I want you to be vindicated from that guilt, from that shame, from that questioning of whether or not you really had any value, or if your value was on par with hers, or maybe he was right in doing all the things that he did to you, and it was you that caused everything wrong, and it was you that was the problem for not fixing everything that was broken in his childhood and all his value system that you could inspire him to live by. No, it wasn't you. And that relationship that he's propositioning out here, that's not even real, because he didn't do the work. Because he didn't do the work. Again, for those of y'all just joining in, I talked about this in the beginning. There is a such thing as a man who totally bombs his early relationships. He's young. He's stupid. Maybe he has some stuff that didn't come to light until he got into that, whatever the case may be. And he learns and he evolves and he grows. And his next relationship reflects that. That does exist. I'm not here invalidating any man that moved on and did better. What I'm saying is you need to be the woman that the man does better with. You don't need to be the training ground. If I'm speaking facts whenever I say that, please put facts down in the comments. If you feel me when I say that. If a man has to go through the fire and learn the hard way in order to become an alpha male, you just need to be on that side of the fence. You don't need to be on the side that gets burnt by the fire. If you feel me, put facts. If you feel like I'm talking nonsense, put fiction, lies, whatever. Just tell me straight up. I can take the truth. Because I see it now differently. And again, if you're 19, 20 years old listening to this as a young lady, I'm not telling you deserve less of a man, but I am saying, okay, that boy that's 19, 20 years old, he got a lot to learn. Y'all both gonna be becoming adults together. You know, toughen up, buttercup. There's gonna be some stuff both of y'all are coming into understanding about yourselves, and it may not always feel good. But if you 35, 40, you done been through a toxic relationship or 2 or 3 or more, you already done earned your stripes. You don't need that process no more. That's not for you. Waiting it out for a man to develop, waiting it out for a man to become certain, waiting it out for a man to realize he has these narcissistic tendencies he needs to get rid of if he's not a full-on narcissist altogether. That's not for you. But again, when you with a dude or you were with a guy, and then again, they love using social media. They love jumping on social media, and all of a sudden now they're just, man, look, that social media makeover, that's not evidence of change. That's evidence of calculated image management. That's what that is. That's not evidence of change. That is public perception engineering, not personal development. That is strategic presentation. That's not a genuine transformation. Two completely different things. Do not be sitting there watching the story, seeing the post, or having your friends come to you talking about what they seeing, et cetera, and you feel any kind of way. Those couples photos he's taking now with all those thoughtful captions about real love and finding his soulmate and et cetera, because you remember whenever you were his quote unquote soulmate too. That's not him documenting authentic love. He's curating a highlight reel that serves multiple purposes. One, making her feel special. Yeah. But more importantly, making you feel replaced. And secondarily, making everybody believe that he's capable of healthy relationships. However, you don't be fooled. You have to end the gaslighting. At the time you enter that relationship in the gaslighting, that's performance art, not relationship art. That is performance art. He is putting on a show. And that young lady that he's with now, unfortunately, she doesn't know his patterns yet because he hasn't deployed them. But he will. They got a nice little honeymoon phase and it looks really cute. But that's not character evidence. That's character concealment. All the little cute things and the rush of emotion and feelings that she got, and she just don't know yet. His best behavior with her is not his real behavior. It's only temporary. She just don't know it yet. She just don't know it yet. So she gonna post about how different he is from other men. She gonna post about how emotionally available and communicative he is. And I know deep down on some level, girl code, you probably even want to warn that woman that the man that she's praising is going to disappear the moment she expresses a need that he doesn't want to meet. I know you want to let her know, like a part of you almost feels sorry for her. Especially if you really are looking at this saying, oh no, that's a fake. I remember when he put on this act for me too. And I remember exactly when it unraveled. You want to let her know, hey, the train is coming. Now, I can tell you right now, she is not going to believe you because he's still in acquisition mode. So that manipulation, it hasn't really started because the investment isn't secured yet. He hasn't gotten her hooked enough to the point where whenever he does take off that mask, all that work he put in to manipulate her and gaslight her is still protected. He ain't got there yet. So she's not gonna believe you. I say save your breath, save your energy. Nah. So how do you know he hasn't learned his lesson? Again, there is a such thing as a man who truly learns his lesson. Honestly, I would say 99% of men who get it right in relationships at some point got it wrong in the previous one, if not that one. And I don't talk from some pedestal. I'm talking from firsthand experience. Y'all know I ain't no perfect gold standard, or at least I haven't been I still got work to do. But I'm telling you as somebody who also, I know brothers, and professionally I've been doing this now 13 years, thousands of men who have made that transition. That's the only way a man truly gets it right, unless he had the perfect relationship model from childhood. Unfortunately, very few men have. Some do. But if he ain't had that from his very early days to where he identified like that became his whole identity and framework for relationships, he probably had to learn the hard way. Now, the difference is when that man truly learned the hard way, you don't see a priority on going and showing people and trying to make people believe something immediately after he discards you. There's a period that man goes. Honestly, I'm not going to go too far in depth with that because I tell you exactly how to recognize when a man has truly crossed that fence. He's truly gotten over that part of him. He's truly dealt with that lesser version of himself. I talk about that in the masterclass. Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. It's a part of when you know it's genuine that man has truly come out of all of those childhood boy mindset tendencies, unhealed traumas. There are questions you can ask. There are ways that you can see how he moves now. And it won't take you forever to even realize it. It won't require you to get emotionally invested first. Comment the word secrets. I'll send the entire breakdown to you. It's only like 45 minutes long, maybe like right at an hour. I break down how to recognize when a man has truly done the work. So you're not the new girl for no other man either. But understand this, that man that was toxic to you and he was narcissistic and he really did no work, all of those quote unquote lessons learned from your relationship, that just became his how to avoid getting caught manual for hers, the new girl. So all your feedback, that became his strategy refinement, not his character improvement in his new relationship. He studied what exposed him with you just so he can hide it better with her. Like, don't think that, oh, well, now, he got it right and all the stuff that he blamed me for. If he ended that relationship still blaming you and never taking accountability, if he ended that relationship attacking you, or if the relationship ended because you finally put a stop to him attacking you and using you and getting everything he wanted from you, that man has not done the work. That's not how alpha males move. That's not how alpha males move. Even those that are learning the hard way and becoming the alpha male, that's not how they move. What happens a lot of times with the alpha male, and again, I talked about this in the masterclass where I break down how to identify and how to attract alpha males, ladies. But I'll go ahead and say this. What happens a lot of times with true alpha males is that it's too little too late. They do the work, but they've already burned the bridge, but they do the work. So it's not having any effect on the relationship. It's not able to be received by you. It's like, that's when the man, I believe anyway, that's when the man has truly crossed over, because he's now genuinely all in, invested. His behavior patterns have changed. His desires have changed. His circle has changed. His lifestyle has changed, but he can't rescue that relationship. It's just too much. And in that case, that man is either going to go back to his old self, or is going to continue on towards the alpha male version of himself. And that may show up in the next relationship. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that, but y'all know I'm your big bro. I'm just going to keep it real with you. It does happen where a man genuinely makes that leap. Unfortunately, that's not the majority of situations. That's not the majority of situations. That man, your toxic ex, gonna claim he has so much trauma from your relationship, and he's gonna position himself as the victim, rewriting himself as the hero who tried his best. And that historical revision is just there to support his new narrative. He want to be a victim so bad because it's social currency and his sympathy collection. And he'll talk about how a toxic relationship was and how much he had to heal from it and how he's learned to finally love himself after what you put him through. And the whole time you were simply reacting to the things he did to you. You know the truth. Nobody else does, but that new girl about to live it. And he gonna make it seem like, well, you know, he got somebody now that brings out the best of him the whole time. He just found somebody who doesn't know his worst yet. If I'm speaking facts, put facts down in the comments. So some people are gonna be mad at this. I don't care. If I'm speaking facts, put facts down in the comments. What up, Joyce? If I'm speaking facts, I want to know if I'm talking to anybody, man. Put facts down in the comments if I'm speaking facts. So, again, I need y'all, if y'all don't hear nothing else I say in this conversation, please hear this part. Do not go out here trying to save, fix, build, repair, raise, rescue any man that's not already possessing the conviction to be the alpha male version of himself. If you with a man right now and he's not already putting in that work, he's not having any accountability, there is no point in you trying. He may get it, he may not. But the price you pay for the man that might get it is too great. It is much better to just simply position yourself for the man who already got it. It's much wiser to position yourself for the man who already has it. He's already done the work. You've already earned that man if you are a good woman. Now you have to position yourself to receive your paycheck. Get in position. You can do all the work you want to. If you go to a job and do work, yeah, you earned a check. But if you have not filled out the direct deposit forms, they can't deposit your check. If you don't go up there to go receive your check, you can't get your check. You've earned it. As a woman, if you're growth oriented, you worked on yourself, you've overcome, you've done all of this stuff. You've done the work. You've earned the check of an alpha male who gets it. You've earned it. Now you got to go and get your check. And by get, I don't mean you pursue. The alpha males will pursue you if you use the strategies that I taught in my masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. But again, narcissists, they do not heal. Why heal? I wasn't the problem. Why heal? It was her. Why heal? I can just go get a new one. Why heal? That's narcissist. They just rebrand and go find a new target. So don't think that whenever you see that new relationship or whatever moments that you watching this whole new beautiful story unfold on social media, his growth unfold. No, you're watching his marketing campaign for somebody who has not read his reviews yet. That quote unquote evolved man there posting about his queen that's the same man who made you feel crazy for those years that you were with him. The only thing that changed was his audience. So don't feel jealous of her. Feel grateful that you're no longer in the starting role of this performance. That's what you should be. You should feel blessed. You didn't lose the new and improved version of him. You escaped before he could perfect his act on you. You escaped before he could perfect his act on you. Facts. Now, those are just my thoughts. I'm your big bro. Hopefully you got some value out of this. And if you did, put your money away. This is for free. I just ask that you pay it forward to somebody by finding the little arrow down here and hitting the share button so somebody else in your timeline can get blessed the same way that you did. Don't be selfish. Again, find a little share, little arrow, and hit the share button if something I said was true for you. And make sure you put shared in the comments so I can shout you out and show you some love. And if you want more like this, where I really go in, especially on how to attract alpha males, the ones who already got it, comment the word secrets. I'm going to send you a link to my masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. It's absolutely free, and it's where I break it down how to position yourself for an alpha male so you can skip the part of the dating pool that got piss in it. Or you can just click the link that I pinned down here in the comments. It's the exact same link. It'll take you to that masterclass, and it's free. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good.